I believe I said when I first saw the Doom the Dark Ages trailer that I was getting distinctly midlife crisis vibes from it. I mean, not only does Mr. D. Slayer Esquire have a shiny new shield that literally has a pull chain on it like it's a fucking lawnmower, but he also seems to be wearing a new toupee that keeps slipping and hanging around the back of his neck. But then I remembered that Doom 3 had been Doom's real midlife crisis when it showed up in a shiny new engine covered in chrome and expensive lights and pretended like it was still one of the cool kids. Then there was Doom 2016, which for me represented a sort of partial regression to childhood state not uncommon in age-related dementia. And I suppose following that logic, Doom the Dark Ages represents the natural next step. Being dead. Being dead and having your horrible corpse puppeted around on a stick so that your current owner can continue collecting your pension checks. Okay, I'm slightly overstating things for outrage dollars, but I am genuinely disappointed that Dark Ages continues a slide that began in Doom Eternal, wherein the game's story element began losing its sense of self-awareness. The Doomslayer no longer fist bumps his action figures or gleefully smashes a thing moments after being very politely asked not to smash the thing, or walks through a room full of humans while they all visibly brick themselves like he's an unsecured gorilla who's outwardly calm but could at any moment mistake any of their todgers for an unclaimed banana. No, now he just goes around exchanging respectful nods with supermarket-owned brand Warhammer 40k characters and rescuing fucking princesses. We literally rescue a princess at one point in Dark Ages, one who is a human vessel for a mysterious ancient power, just in case you were afraid the green outfit was the only thing justifying the Legend of Zelda comparison. They don't even call him the Doomslayer anymore. Now he's just the Slayer, which is infinitely less fun to say. Anyway, the story is Dermot Sebastian Layer is being held prisoner by the Makers and being loaned out to the Sentinels of Argent the New to aid in their war against the forces of Grand Prince Arsehole, who is teaming up with a new other-dimensional faction with Lovecrafty vibes, but the alliance is an uneasy one and threatens to create a schism between blah-de-blah-de-blah. I have a feeling there's someone on the dev team who's using this franchise to bring to life their epic fantasy novel series that keeps getting rejected by publishers, and none of it is adding much value because it's so painfully generic, offers me no characters to root for, and frankly I enjoyed Doom a lot more when the plot was just dude really hates demons and some demons exist. Gosh, things got a bit heavy for a while there. Let's blow off some steam by killing literally hundreds of fucking dudes. Gameplay-wise, the evolution of the Neo-Doom formula has largely been a matter of scale. We've left far behind the enclosed Mars bases and steel corridors of Doom 2016, mysteriously roomy as those were. The average level in the Dark Ages is like a square mile of hell countryside where we wipe out entire battalions of zombie men with a single fling of our mighty lawnmower shield, compensating for the larger distances with a new super-fast charge move where we ride our shield like it's the motorbike we didn't tell our wife we were going to buy. It's like after everyone hated fighting that one shield guy in the last game, the developer apparently thought that what we were complaining about was how they were hogging all the shield fun. So now shields galore. You've got a shield, a bunch more of the monsters have shields, they hired Brooke Shields as a voice actor. They didn't actually, I was just going with a riff. And consequently a lot of the core gameplay is based around the shield. And initially I thought holding up your little saucepan lid to nope out of attacks might mess with the established Doom 2016 watchwords of stay mobile and be aggressive, but in practice the ridiculous speed and range of the shield bash helps it slot into the over-the-top super violence quite nicely. Similarly, I really thought I'd hate the new parry mechanic more. Oh, when the hell did Doom become about being reactive and waiting for them to attack, I thought. Seems a bit out of character for a dude who spent the previous 2 games using their own spiny todgers to very proactively scout demons as clients for his tonsillectomy clinic, but in practice you can only parry attacks of a certain colour, Cuphead style, and it's just another thing you have to split-second react to. A little too generous with the timing and range perhaps, but the way Neo-Doom always obsessively unlocks new weapons and superpowers all the way to the end until you've got 12 guns, 3 tactical nuclear strikes and rabid wolverines strapped to both kneecaps, getting too easy is consistent with the established pattern. I'd say the glory kills have been downgraded a bit. Half the time I didn't even get a special animation, you just do a little huffy shove or kick that makes dudes' arms and legs all fly off. But my real bugbear is the way the critical path keeps forcing us into recurring vehicle sections, especially the ones where you pilot a giant mech, which falls into the usual problem with such things. It plays exactly the same as regular gameplay, except you move around like the floor's covered in overly affectionate vaginas, and only fight one kind of enemy with one attack that's about as hard to dodge as an awkward question in the middle of a flash flood. The bits where you ride on a flying dragon are better, because you have a better freedom of movement to help you appreciate the scale and spectacle of the environments, but again, when it comes to fighting things, all the variety and strategy of the standard combat is replaced with point at the dude, mash your one attack, get out of the way of their one attack. And it's like a spectacular wrestling match had to stop so the participants could sit down in the middle of the ring and decide the result with a round of hungry hippos. So to summarise, what recommends Dark Age of Doom a lot is more high-octane core combat and some nice spectacle. I mean, look up at the sky during one of the levels in Lovecraft World and you'll see a fucking mind-blowingly huge horrifying space octopus drifting aimlessly about, like it's waiting for Mrs. Horrifying Space Octopus to come out of the bra shop. But ultimately I came away feeling like I'd had a hollow experience. The central joke and novelty of being this taciturn, faceless super badass who gives less shit than a taped-up bumhole in the Sahara Desert has worn thin, and the series has lost sight of the core philosophy that made Doom 2016 work, i.e. simplicity. All this cosmic multi-faction conflict rubbish we're obliged to give some of our precious little available shit about, and how to train your cybernetic nightmare dragon sequences, feel like stuff put in more to create trailer moments than to enrich the gameplay experience. The Doom guy worked best when he was just a guy with no motivation in life except to expand his spiny Todger collection, because turns out that syncs up pretty well with my motivation as a player, although he can keep the spiny todgers. I already repaired the wonky leg on my coffee table.
This video is brought to you by Game Maker. If you've ever wanted to get into game development, Game Maker does this really crazy thing where it's free. Just start making and only pay when you want to release your game to the world commercially.
It's fast, it's user-friendly, and there's easy-to-follow tutorials, plus a dedicated community to help answer even my questions. How make man jump? Game Maker is a 2D game engine that's helped bring some of yours and my favorite recent experiences to life, like UFO 50, Chicory, Anton Blast, and of course, Yahtzee's own Starstruck Vagabond.
Ooh, are we talking about Game Maker? I love that program, it's so easy to use. As well as Starstruck Vagabond, I also used it to make all 12 projects in my 12 games in 12 months Dev Diary challenge. And I couldn't believe how much sex I got out of that. None. I got none at all. Which I couldn't believe.
So what are you waiting for? Head on over to the Game Maker link in the description and start cracking away today, because we want to play your game.
Yeah, looking through this list, I'm seeing one of you made Armpit Fart Tycoon, and I've got several questions for you.